Priscilla, the co-host of The Joe Flynn Show, and I am here at the Sacramento Horror Film Fest with the one and only Harry Manfredini. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Priscilla. Nice to meet you.
I have so many questions.
Well, I have so many answers.
Now, Harry is the composer of many soundtracks, memorable, important soundtracks like Friday the 13th.
Yes.
And Swamp Thing?
Yes.
And did you want to talk about some others that you were involved in?
I did a series called House. Let's go on. I could talk all day.
Now, first of all, what got you involved in music in general?
In general? I started taking lessons when I was 6. And I loved music, and oddly enough, my whole life I wanted to write music for films. I think watching old movies with my mom at night, before second grade and third grade, we'd stay up late at night and watch old movies, and I just loved movie music. My father was into Italian opera, so I got that drama sort of thing. My brother was into very avant-garde jazz, so it's sort of a mix of those two things, plus whatever films I saw. And that's always what I wanted to do, so you've got to be careful what you wish for.
Now, were you a fan of horror movies?
Oddly enough, no. I mean, I like horror films, I like good films. I saw, when I was going to films a lot, I saw what they called, I guess they were called horror films, but they really weren't anything like what we would think of today. But I'm not a big fan of horror films, oddly enough, even though I seem to have, grown towards them and I do them well. They're fun to do. That's one of the best things about writing music for horror films, because as a composer, you're pretty much open to just about anything. It's not like it's got to be funny or it's got to be cute or it's got to be a certain. Horror films give you a chance to pretty much stretch out and do all kinds of things. So they're certainly a lot more fun to score than most other films.
Interesting. Well, I'm so fond of music, period, and I'm so fond of musical soundtracks, and I think I was telling you a little bit of my collection.
Bless you.
Well, it means so much, either silence in certain scenes or the music that's going on in certain scenes can just make or break a scene. So I just find it just as powerful as writing or whatever is going on in that scene. Now, you also worked on Dead and Gone.
Wow, yes, I did. You know this picture.
I do. And what was that experience like?
That experience was a lot of fun. It's a fairly new movie. It's out on DVD just recently. And it all started with a friend of mine, Harry Shannon, who, when I met Harry, maybe 15 years ago, he was the head of music at Carolco. I was doing a movie called Deep Star 6. And then I did a movie called Aces there with Lou Gossett. It was another one of the Iron Eagle movies. And Harry and I became really good friends. And about a year or so ago, he called me and said, I've just written this script called Dead and Gone, and I've got a really great director, Yossi Sasson, and I want you to meet him, and I think we could all make a really cool movie together. And so much, the rest is history. We did it. And I had a great time doing that score. Do you remember the score at all? Because I know you've seen it.
I have seen it.
Well, did you notice that little funny sort of laughing kind of sound? That was, Harry came up to me and he said, I don't know what this is, but it's really spooky, and I think we should use this in the score. And I said, well, whatever, because at that point there was no film shot or anything. But it was a little children's toy about this big. You could hold it in your hand. And when you shook it, if you shook it back and forth, it went something like, and it was kind of spooky. And if you turned it very slowly, it went, ooh, like that. And I went, wow, that really is a spooky little toy. So I sampled it across the keyboard and made different sort of sounds, all with this toy. Then I worked it into the orchestra in that score. So next time you watch it, remember that how sometimes the film is sort of shake. If you go there, you get to. There's just these little laughs that are kind of. It's a story about a guy who's going crazy and the house is affecting him. And it sort of represents that part of the story.